So I turned on my PS3 today because I wanted to play some college basketball, and I noticed that a 4.91 update for the PS3 was available. And I'm looking like, all right, what's going on here? Why is the PS3 still getting updates? Apparently, the PS3 is getting updates for Blu-ray uh, encryption. I guess they're gonna do some more encryption for the Blu-ray player, and I'm almost certain that they're probably trying to do some things with some piracy things. I'm not really. I wouldn't be surprised because even though that the PS3 is jailbroken beyond belief, Sony is still trying to combat some form of jailbreaking with the PS3. There's a lot of users still on PS3, so that could be another reason why they're still trying to, protect what they have. Which is surprisingly, well, it's really not surprising. A lot of people still playing the PS3. Like I said, I was playing it to play some college basketball. I was playing some NCAA basketball. 10 phenomenal game, and it's college basketball season. So yeah, but it's really interesting after a console that's almost 20 years old still getting updates. I think that's really cool, and the PS3 is one of those consoles that to be honest that probably should not die no time soon. A lot of people still want to keep up with the Joneses and talk about new games and all this new stuff, but how the new stuff is treating you right now. Some of these new games are like they're not awful, but they're just not up to what they should be. Some games from the PS3 360 era, it shines over the PS5 games or the PS4 games as far as quality. And it's a shame. I think the PS2, PS3 era, 6, 7 generation was probably like a phenomenal time. I mean, all the generations were good for the most part, but it's just something about the 6 and 7 generation was really good. I think the PS4 tried to piggyback off of it, but it's nothing like that 360, PS3, and in some cases Nintendo Wii. So, nevertheless, PS3 gets a surprise update, which is actually pretty interesting. That is pretty cool in my opinion. There's also some gaming industry, movement going on here. People are losing their jobs. Starting off, let's talk about Sony first. Sony announces a significant PlayStation layoffs affecting 900 staff. London studio to close. I'm not going to go through these articles word for word or just go skim through them. Just going to give you my opinion about the layoffs in general. And so I'm going to have the links down in the description for all of this. The update for the PS3 Sony layoff and the other one that we're going to talk about in a second, which is another company that's laying off people. Nevertheless, what do I think about this? Sony is, I don't know, man. You think they're doing good. Now, I'm pretty sure they are, but just the industry itself is just not in a good place right now. I mean, all these AAA games, all this other stuff is going on with, these big budget titles and a lot of companies trying to, toe the line between, the indies and the AAAs and all the low budget games. It comes at a cost at some point. It comes at a cost to where you just can't sustain a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of overhead, a lot of things going on, and some games just not making a profit. I mean, they're talking about some of these new games going to be like 300. Some of these games are like $300 million or around that number. Yeah, you can make the money back in sales in most cases, but it's very tough to do so. I mean, Xbox just laid off a lot of people. Sony's laying off some people, and now we're going to look at this one here. EA Sports, or not EA Sports, but Electronic Arts, they're cutting some people. I mean, they put an update out. Andrew Wilson saying continue to evolve business and teams. Basically, I think they're getting rid of I want to let me look at Jason Schreier. It may not look good on the screen, but let me look. Yeah, 5% of his workforce based on Jason Schreier right here. So it's up to 670 employees. So I mean, you're looking at a situation here where 900 is leaving Sony and 670 from Electronic Arts, and now you also had Xbox. I think there was like 1900. I mean, no matter the number, it's still not a good thing. It's pretty bad when you have these situations out here where some companies just can't sustain what they're doing. I mean, what does it mean for the gaming industry? Some people saying that the gaming industry is going to crash. I don't think it's going to do all that or whatever case may be, but there's going to be a huge correction. I think I talked about that, in another video a while back. It needs a huge financial correction. These companies going to probably have to go back in their bag and go into what worked for them. To be honest with you, what worked for them back in the seventh and sixth generation, where they're going to have to take some low budget risk, and hopefully these games are good enough quality for people to buy. And if you look at some of these games that are out that are doing well, even some of them that are big budget titles, let's say you like your Elden Ring, I can't say it for the life of me, Hogwarts Legacy. You look at those type of games that done phenomenally well, even Helldivers. These games are going back to what was fun in gaming. They're giving people what they want. They're giving them people good gameplay, some good graphics, and it's not a situation where they're trying to do something over the top or trying to break the bank or trying to swindle people out of money when it comes to live services. I've said this for the longest. If you want to make a game that people will like, just make it fun and make it feel like it's something that they are something that they own, something they feel attached to. You gotta find a way to attach the player to the game and not attach their wallets to the game. You gotta attach them to the game, and they will continue to play your games forever. I mean, and that's the thing. You just go back and look at a game like Counter-Strike, even though it has all those, transactions and all this other crazy stuff going on in it. People feel attached to that game, and it still plays very well. I mean, people still play it, going on what, damn near 30 years going towards that. I mean, you gotta think about it. Some of these companies want you to continuously pick up games and play them over and over and over and over again, and they don't want you to just play the game over and over again. They want that attachment to where they can get money out of you. And it's starting to show that that's not really sustainable anymore. I mean, some companies aren't really, they're not really prospering from it. If you're going to make a game like that where people are willing to spend money, you're going to have to put it into a situation where these guys feel attached to the game. I didn't mind the microtransactions in Battlefield 4. I mean, that was a game you gotta think about it, that game was almost over 10 years old now. But that game, I still have fond memories of that game because even though I paid premium, I paid for premium on 3 different platforms. I played it on, I did it on Xbox One, I did it on PS4, and I did it on PC. And I have no regrets. I enjoyed that game. And that's an online live service game. So when you have some of these games that are single player types, or you have games that you want them to have like this great, feeling like a Spider-Man or whatever, which Spider-Man 2 did well, but it just wasn't up to snuff to the first one, in my opinion. But when you look at those games like that, these people nowadays, these gamers nowadays just don't feel like they have that attachment to them. Some people pick up and put down a game like it's nothing. There's not that it hasn't been that 1 or 2 games in the last 2 years maybe, for me anyway, that haven't captured the essence of gaming like that. That's why I keep all of my games. That's why I keep, because what I have here are games I can always go back to and always have fun. And unfortunately, it's some of these companies, just to be honest, they have no interest in making those type of games. I'm not saying the developers, but some of these companies have no interest in making those games. So with that being said, where are we now? What's going to happen within the next 4 or 5 years? What kind of corrections going to happen when the next consoles come out? But you got to understand, within the next 3 years, we're going to get the new consoles. As far as PS5 and next Xbox, I mean, Nintendo's probably going to be doing their thing within the next year or so. But what's going to happen? And to be honest, and now I'm gonna get out of here with this. I think that I'm gonna be honest. I think that these companies need to start taking a page out of Nintendo's book. Like, I'm serious. They're gonna have to take a page out of Nintendo's book. PlayStation may need to start making some Astro Boy games. They're probably gonna have to make some Astro Boy games. They're they're gonna have to, Xbox is probably gonna have to do something with the mascot that they have, and really make some things out. Even though I know everybody's switching around going third party, you can still make a mascot type game that's still attached to the brand. You know, what Nintendo's done is phenomenal, man. And I'm going to talk about in my next video about Nintendo, because that Super Mario Wonder game, I'm going to talk about that game. That Super Mario Wonder game, just just wow, just wow. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Y'all take it easy. I'm out. Peace.